Alright, so I found this little tutorial on Pinterest, and I still don't know which book this is from, and I do not know who created this. Whoever created this is really helpful. So if you know anything about it, let me know. I will give you guys a link to this very specific tutorial that I found on Pinterest down in the description box below. But it really helped me when it comes to creating stylized faces. All right, so if you have watched my previous video on how I took this course online about drawing faces, and how the teacher and the professor just traced over and over again and did not really teach anything. So by using this tutorial, this mini tutorial, I've created so many faces just to practice, and I love all of them. I'm gonna help you break this down so that you can also understand how to draw stylized faces. All right, this is not for the traditional portrait paintings or sketches. This is for strictly for stylized faces, and I'm going to help you understand this very tutorial and show you how I actually use it to create faces. Now let's just jump right onto it. Now when it comes to drawing faces, people think you need to learn how to draw the skull, right? Even though in this tutorial the skulls look really simplified. As you guys can see, it's really simplified. But still, you don't need to learn how to draw these skulls. All you need to know is the basic structure of the skull or of the face, which will help you in drawing faces. So now let's just focus on the front view of a face or a skull. All right, we're gonna divide it into simple shapes, as this artist has divided the skull into simple shapes. Brilliant work, right? So what is happening? They drew the circle for the upper half of the face. All right, this is the upper half of the face or the skull. All right, once you have the circle for the upper half of the skull, you're gonna divide it both ways like this, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna divide this lower half of the circle into two. But what you want to do is you're going to find a middle point for this half of the skull, and then you're going to want to go a little lower than that midpoint, and here we have this next partition for the face, which is for the nose. All right, so what's happening is nose ends at the base of the circle and begins at the top of this very line right here. Not just that, this division gives us space for the eyes, the hollows of the eyes, like this. All right, now we have the eyes, we have the nose. Now let's just talk about the jaw, the chin, the mouth. All right, it all begins with the line for the chin. Now what you can do is you can always either decrease the side of the chin or increase it. It totally depends on you, as this is a stylized portrait. It totally depends on you if you want a smaller chin or a larger chin. Not just that, the placement of this line decides how smaller or how larger your face is gonna look. So if you place this chin line a little closer to the circle, you're gonna get a shorter face. But if you actually place this line of chin a little away from the circle, you're gonna get a longer face. All right, so that's about the chin. Now let's just look at how to create jaw and how the structure can help you define if you want a larger jaw or a smaller, narrower jaw. So what is gonna happen is that the line right here, which you use to divide this part of the circle, not just going to end over this circle, but it's just going to move a little further apart from the circle like this. All right, and this is our line. All right, that's how this line is going to be. And what's going to happen is, now let's just see what defines the jaw. This line right here defines how broader or narrower the jaw is going to look. So what's going to happen is, from this point you're going to draw a diagonal line like this. Now if you want a narrower jaw, you're gonna place it like this. It's gonna be really diagonal towards the chin, a lot more towards the chin. But if you want a broader jaw, it's just gonna be like this. It's gonna kind of move away from the chin. But if you want a narrower jaw, it's gonna move towards the chin like this. All right, so that's how you can literally define how narrow or broad the jaw is gonna look like. And once you have this line both ways, you can just join with the endpoints of it to the endpoint of the chin. So we have a structure for jaw now. Now we need to find out how wide the mouth or the lips are gonna be. All right, so for that, what's gonna happen, you're gonna find these middle points almost and draw a line and join it with the starting point of the line for the chin. As simple as that. And here we're gonna get the middle part for the mouth, and this is gonna be the outer part of the mouth where the corners of the mouth are gonna be drawn and a little bit of the lip is gonna fold over here, if that makes any sense. All right, so this is just gonna be the basic structure, and here you do not need to learn how to draw a skull. I hope this structure made sense. All right, the next part is where in this gap between the circle and this jaw structure that we have created, there's gonna be a little bit of curve. All right, like a little bit of C or S. All right, you will see what I'm talking about once I start drawing. So here I'm drawing the front view using the same structure, and here I decided to go ahead and place the chin further apart from that circle for the upper half of the skull or the face, and this gave me in the end a longer looking face. You'll see in a bit. So I'm just gonna keep on drawing and let you guys see how I actually do it. For the eyebrows, I always draw the eyebrows at the top of that little hollow structure for the eyes that I created for this facial structure. Now here I wanted to draw a smaller face, so I decided to play with the placement of that chin, and I actually moved it closer to the circle, and I ended up with a smaller face. By the way, if you want me to also teach how to draw eyes, like how to draw two eyes which look exactly the same and how to draw a nose, I can do that. By the way, I already have tons and tons of tutorials on that. It's really simple. I will link all those down below. But if you think, oh, why am I not teaching how to draw eyes, how to draw this, I'm just assuming that you already know that you're just confused about the structure for the face. If not, I can always create a tutorial for that. But just look at how small and cute this face is looking just by changing the placement of the chin. It's so cute, all right? And then I complete it with drawing the full structure for the face and also drawing the ears for this face. And it's looking really cute, really stylized, just the way I like it.